Hey guys, it's Hoagie. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about some stuff that's happened this week regarding my transition. There's been a couple of interesting things that have happened this week that I think you'd like to hear about. My hair is getting so long. Ugh, I need to cut it. I need to shave the sides. I'm gonna dye it pink. It's gonna be pink in a couple weeks, hopefully. I have some hot pink hair dye that I want to dye it. I used to be pink. I was pink for a couple of years. It was great. I think I really look good in it. So hopefully you get to see that soon. Let me know what you think. Two major things happened to me this week regarding my transition that are kind of interesting and kind of an update from last week. First off, you know how I had talked about, I didn't aspirate and then I started bleeding and I was worried about it and it ended up being okay and everything was fine. Well, everything is fine. It's great. I did my injection on Monday, like I always do, and I tried to aspirate this time. And it's weird to do it with one hand because I pull up on the skin and then I put the needle in with one hand. So I'm like this, and then trying to draw up the plunger with your thumb is really difficult. So I don't know if I even actually did it, but I did try. But there's resistance, because it's inside your body. But it was in there for a couple good 20 seconds before I actually pressed down on the plunger. So I knew that I hadn't hit anything, that I hadn't hit a big blood vessel, that I was going to be fine. It did hurt a little bit more when I injected it. It stung a little bit more, and I'm thinking that's just how it's going to be. But then I pulled the needle out and I bled again. Guys, I hit another capillary twice in a row. I don't know how it happened. I think what might have happened is I was so laser focused on not bleeding this time, on doing it right, that I messed up my technique. Because usually if I'm doing it on my left side, which is what I did this week, I will inject with my left hand because it doesn't take that much dexterity to just stick a needle in you. So I would pull on the skin with this hand and inject with this hand because it's on my left side and it's easier. But for some reason, I was so laser focused that I wasn't paying attention, and I did it with my right hand. And I think the angle might have annoyed the skin, the tissue while I was trying to aspirate it, because I was trying to aspirate with this hand, and it felt weird. I didn't realize it until afterwards. I was like, oh shit, I didn't do that right. And also, I think I might have let go of the skin with this hand before I pulled the needle out, which you're not supposed to do because it can put pressure on the wound before you pull the needle out. And anyway, I really fucked it up. I did a lot of wrong things. So I understand why it bled this time. But it was still it happened twice in a row. It happened twice in a row, and that was just weird to me. I felt really bad about it. I felt like a failure. I was talking to my roommate. I was just I feel like a failure. What am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? What's happening? And she was just you've been doing this for 2 months, right? You've been doing it for 2 months. You're still a beginner. If I had been doing this for 20 years and I messed up twice, then, maybe I'm off my mojo or something needs to be, looked at. But I've only been doing this for 2 months and I'm not going to be an expert at it. I'm going to mess up sometimes. And that made me feel better. I did some research on the internet. I found an overwhelming consensus of I probably didn't lose any of the testosterone, because I was worried about that. I was it's been 2 weeks. If I lost 1 dose, that's one thing, but if I lost 2 doses in a row, that's an issue, right? But the consensus on the internet is that if it were to leak back out, I would see oil coming out, not blood, because it wouldn't be the same consistency, it wouldn't be the same fluid, and all I saw was blood. So I I'm pretty positive I didn't lose anything. That made me feel better. And I know that, like, it's just something that happens. Sometimes you hit a capillary, or sometimes you piss off the tissue inside of your body because you injected incorrectly. So I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm crossing my fingers for this next week is going to be okay. It's going to be on my right leg, which will be a lot easier. So hopefully I will let you guys know what happens, but crossing my fingers. And so that was on Monday, and I was feeling like, okay, I'm not going to let this happen again. And I'm not going to let it happen again. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. But on Thursday, I had my telehealth appointment with my endocrinologist for my 3 months, evaluation. And 2 weeks ago, I had gotten blood work for central blood count and also my testosterone levels to be checked. And I thought that went fine. I get the results online. They send them to me because I have an account with the lab, and I got the results for the central blood count, and my levels are just what they've always been, a little bit high cholesterol, a little bit high couple things, but I was expecting the testosterone to come in too, and then it didn't, and I was like, maybe it goes through a different lab if it's testosterone. Maybe I'm not going to see those results. So I didn't really think anything of it. I get to talking to my endocrinologist, and he's like, they didn't order the testosterone. I'm like, okay, why? And he's like, I don't know why. They just messed it up. I'm like, okay, it's your own lab. I know it went through like a major lab, but like I was at the doctor's office when you did it. I wasn't at a third party lab. I was at your guys' office, and they still didn't take the testosterone. I don't know, man. I was like, okay, what does this mean? And he was like, you're going to have to get blood work again. I was like, great. So he can't increase my testosterone or adjust my dose until he gets the blood work, obviously. And so he's like, you have to go get the blood work again. So that was on Thursday. I got blood work yesterday. I'll talk about that. But he was just like, it's not going to take that long. Once the results get in, I'll call you again. It doesn't have to be like a major appointment. I'll call you and I'll tell you what kind of dosage I want to put you on next. So I was like, okay, cool. Chill. That sucks that I have to get stabbed again, but it's fine. So I also talked to him about the aspiration and about the bleeding, and I was telling him that, like, it happened twice in a row, and he's just like, you don't really need to aspirate because there's not a lot of major blood vessels. There's like no major blood vessels where you're sticking the needle. Like, it's not that deep. My needle is like 1.5 inches, and the worry of hitting a major blood vessel is slim to none. So there's not much reason to aspirate if you're doing it in the leg, which makes sense. What I read online is if you're doing it in the thigh, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm probably not going to continue to do that. If I can aspirate next week with my right hand on my right leg, I might give it a shot. But I think that might have also irritated it, because it felt weird. It felt weird. Like, you're pulling on the skin and then you're like pulling up on the syringe, and it does weird shit in your body. It feels weird. I know that's kind of gross, but like, it feels weird. So I don't know if that also irritated the injection site. But anyway, I'm just going to do it normally next week. I'm just going to do it normally. I'm going to see what happens. It's going to work out. I'm okay. I'm a little upset about it, but I'm going to be okay. I talked to him about it, and he said that if you hit a capillary, it's not the end of the world. You're going to be fine. He wasn't concerned about it happening twice in a row. I asked him, do you think I lost any of my testosterone? And he was just like, there's no way to know for sure, which is contradictory to what I heard on the internet, but I mean, he's the doctor. And he said, if that does end up happening, it's not the end of the world. He's not worried about it. And apparently he wasn't worried about it for me getting my blood work. If I had missed 2 doses, he wasn't like concerned that that would affect my levels. So I'm not concerned if he's not concerned. But he told me, that's just something that happens sometimes and you should be fine. He was happy with the results of my testosterone. My roommate finally noticed my mustache. I was very happy about that. My voice is lower. He noticed that. It was great. We had a good meeting, and I felt a lot better about the whole bleeding thing. He made me feel better about that. I got my blood work the next day. I didn't have to fast. I went in at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't fast. They took the blood. It was in and out. It was great. I didn't know when I was going to get the results. I got them this morning. It was kind of neat that it took less than 24 hours. This lab is really good at that. They do it on the weekends too sometimes. So I got the results, and the lowest level for like male testosterone levels is 300 something per deciliter. And mine was 346. So I'm in the male range. It's not super high or anything, but I'm there. I have male levels of testosterone, which is really exciting. I feel great about it. He'll probably want to increase my testosterone levels, but at least like I'm there. I'm getting there. It's happening. I already have polycystic ovary syndrome, so I knew that my testosterone levels were already going to be a little elevated, but they weren't at the time like in the male range. They were in the when I got the blood work when I was a sophomore in high school, it was like androgynous levels of testosterone. So that was over 10 years ago. So who knows what my baseline is without testosterone right now. But I got the blood work. I'm in the male range. I'm super excited about that. He's going to call me on Monday. He's going to tell me, what dosage he wants me to increase to. I'm assuming that's what he's going to do. He sent in the prescription for my testosterone. They were out of stock, but they got it in today. It'll be ready today. So I'm going to pick that up, and it's all going to work out. I feel like it's going to work out. Anyway, I'm excited for the future. It's going to be another 3 months of testosterone. It's going to be great. I will keep you guys updated on the first week of next month about my 3 months. Stuff has been happening. It's been great. I'm feeling good. I'm not I'm not scared anymore. I was scared for a hot second about the bleeding, but I'm feeling good that it's not going to happen a third time. And if it does happen a third time, he told me that I could come in for the 4th week and they would watch me inject and see, if there was something wrong with my technique. So that's good. I'm happy about that, because I would want someone to watch me and be like, no, actually, you should be doing it like this. Like, please tell me if I'm doing something wrong. So there's a backup for that if something does go wrong this next week. Editing Hoagie here. I just want to say I'm really sorry for not getting to all your comments. I've seen them piling up the last couple of weeks. I want to respond to every single one of them, but how the more they show up, the more of them there are, the harder it is. I think I've talked about this before. It's difficult for me to jump in and just do it. So I read every single one of your comments. I appreciate every single one of them. Thank you so much. I will do my best to get to them this week. So please keep your eyes out for that. I promise I'll get to them. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please consider liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. I'm at almost 150 subscribers. I had no idea it was going to be, this quick to get this many people. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great day. Mwah.